Hello, welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. We are here for Formula 2 in Saudi Arabia, giving a few predictions ahead of the race on Sunday. We're going to be doing quali sprint feature. We're going to just talk through the general weekend, performance of some drivers at the past event, how they could perform here, and of course giving our top 5 for all three events. But yeah, in Bahrain, it was a very strong weekend for Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
It's a very good start to the championship for Pourchaire, but just a point separates them. Is that the real battle going into the rest of the season? Lawson versus Pourchaire?
I think it'll be Pourchaire versus Lawson as the real title contenders. I do think Yuri Vips could maybe do something.
He showed very strong pace in Bahrain.
Daruvula.
Yeah, I mean,
find some pace.
You're in a Premier, you've got to be in the shout. If not, you.
I think I've forgotten anyone.
That's probably it for your career.
Jack Doohan's on the very outside, I think.
I think he's going to become a more serious candidate next season. I think once he's settled into F2, he could even get the step up to Premier.
Yeah.
But then you and I, Virtuosi, have shown they can fight for titles. Haven't really shown in recent years they can win them, though. Ilott and Joe coming second in the last 2 seasons, but no winners. And then, a few drivers with a few things to prove. I think Ollie Caldwell needs a good weekend because Alpine aren't going to be happy with his performance.
At this race, he's going to end up with a ban.
Yeah, if he continues his Bahrain form into this weekend.
Ridiculous amount of race.
I'm thinking if Iwasa can do something in quali, then he'll put himself in a much better position for the race.
Yeah.
Is that subtle foreshadowing towards my quali? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what Logan Sargent does. Obviously, he's now got a teammate that comes in with a lot of with a big reputation, and that's quite difficult when you've got a teammate that is so good and so experienced like Liam Lawson. For Logan, it kind of piles on the pressure because he needs to prove himself now.
Yeah, but I do think he will. And maybe that's a bit foreshadowing to my predictions.
Ooh. Should we get into Saudi GP quali then?
Yes.
We're only going to do the top 5 because I don't fancy sitting here going through 22 drivers that includes Roy Nassani. Unless you've got him in the top 5. Do you have Roy Nassani in your top? Oh, that is
P5 though.
Shocking.
I do have the UNI virtuosi of Jack Doohan. Took pole in Bahrain. Good qualifier. I think he'll get a solid P5 for UNI. In Saudi.
I think experience is massive at a track like Saudi. F3 didn't race there last year, and I'm just thinking that could be Doohan's downfall. But if he can qualify kind of 10th versus grid sprint race, I think that could be where he comes time to shine.
He has that. I mean, they're all they're all young, but we saw at Bahrain where he came out of the pit lane, he threw away the win because he tried to get that move on Pourchaire.
Yeah.
I do think he will just absolutely send it round Saudi to try and get the best lap he can, and he'll get a solid P5.
I know. I think Doohan's going to learn quickly, and I think he's going to. I think he could kind of take a chill race while everyone else, because it's quite a chaotic track. We know that from last year's event there. Yeah. I think it could be a difficult weekend for some drivers, because if you have a bad quali, then you're stuck in the pack for the sprint, which is chaotic, and then of course the feature ratio then still low.
Yeah.
Difficult. Even if you get good quality, then it's almost a downfall for the sprint because you're going to be right in the pack.
Who have you then put
P5 for quality, I've got Marcus Armstrong.
Yeah.
Now in the high tech, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Armstrong. I think the Kiwi did alright in this first weekend. I can't remember where he positioned his car and how many points he's on, but I feel like he did alright whenever I saw him. I might be well off though, might have scored no points or spun it or something.
Yeah.
Didn't he did get spun by some... Was it him that got spun? Like turn 8 or something like that? No, turn like...
He did get spun, yeah. He got
7?
That. No, it's turn 8. Yeah, he did get spun. Sadly.
I feel like other than that, had a good weekend.
Yeah, he could have it. I think he's a good
I think he showed pace, and I think that high tech's clearly got pace, especially in the hand of Vips. But yeah, I've got Armstrong in P5 then P4. I'm just gonna put my driver in there. I've got the other high tech, Yuri Vips. I think he's gonna build on that strong pace from the first weekend, and that's it's gonna put him in good stead.
Okay, my P4.
And I think he did well last year.
I'm going a bit out there. I'm backing the drivers that have never raced at Saudi before. P4, I've got the man you said got a point to prove. Sargent in the Carlin.
Yeah.
I think again he's going to be quite good. Again, as you said, needs to prove himself, and good opportunity to do it early doors. He drove decently around Bahrain, had an alright race, alright couple of races, got a few points, and I think he'll carry on that Saudi, and he'll take a P4 in quali.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel that experience helps.
Yeah, well, the thing is, my experience helps will come up when we find out my sprint and race results, because it is just quali, and I'm just thinking the pace over one lap, they'll just absolutely send, because they've got nothing to lose, really. Whereas people like Lawson and Pourchaire and Vips might take more measured
approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. P3, who have you got?
I've gone for the man I've mentioned, Yuri Vips.
I put him just a position lower. So fancy solid qualifying for the Estonian.
Extremely strong pace at Bahrain. Sadly, race ruined by a slow pit. Lost the win because of a slow pit stop. I think P3. Very quick driver, and he did well around Saudi last year.
Yeah, so. I think a 4th or 3rd does suit Vips very nicely, because it gives him a good platform to build from in the sprint race. Not too much to gain to get in the mix for the win, but it also puts him in very good stead for the feature.
Yes, yeah.
Especially if the top two do get too close. So yeah, I do think Vips could get some good points here. P3, I have Dragovic.
Ooh, very high.
Yeah, I think experience pays out.
Yeah.
I don't think he had I can't remember it that well, but I don't think he had a good Saudi last year, but I think he's going to turn it around. P3 in quali. Not predicting much else from over the weekend. I don't think he's going to have the pace, but I think he could put in a good lap. And I think experience, as I said earlier, will have an impact on the event. So, yeah. So I'll put Dragovic P3.
Okay. P2, I've put, again, experience, Jehan Deruva. Didn't really have the greatest races around Bahrain. Needs to try and grab some good points to get him back up into near the top of the championship. And I think qualifying P2 on the Friday will help him.
I mean, that's what he does need. He does need a big event. Yeah. If not, Prema will lose patience.
Definitely.
You can't be a Red Bull Academy and be a Prema driver and not be performing. We saw what Schwartzman there 2 years did nothing. He's booted. Especially with Hauser alongside him. If Hauser starts out performing, which is very possible.
Yeah.
I think that will spell the end for Jehan Deruva.
Who have you put P2?
P2 in qualifying, I have Theo Pourchaire.
Yeah.
Obviously, the winner of the feature race in Bahrain, currently tops the championship. He had strong pace there last year until he got smashed up. That's right. Was it him that crashed into someone? I know he had. I don't think he was involved. He wasn't involved on the thing on the lights, was he? That was Lundgaard and Fittipaldi.
Fittipaldi went to the back of Lundgaard.
I know Pourchaire was involved in some kind of incident there. But yeah, I'm thinking P2, strong pace, and he's a quick driver. He pushed it to the limits, but he's shown at tracks like Monaco last year that he is very good around street circuits. So he does push to the max. But I think he's just going to get picked to pole by Liam Lawson. He's my pole position, and unless you've got him P1, I've just noticed you've either got no Pourchaire or no Lawson in the top 5. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I've got Liam Lawson P1. Strong for him. I'm thinking he needs some big points, because But he can't allow Pourchaire to keep winning the sprints because he can get double podiums, win the features. He can get double podiums like he did last race, but if Pourchaire takes 25 points, he's a point ahead. So I feel like he needs to assert his dominance, take pole, get points for that, because then he'll be leading the championship, and then see where he can go from there.
Really well. I hope Liam does do that.
Who's your pole position? Is it Liam Lawson or is it Teo Pourchaire or is it Roy Nissany?
My pole position is not Roy Nissany. It is Teo Pourchaire. I love Liam.
That's interesting.
Fan of Liam.
A Liam Lawson fan, not backing his boy. I mean, no. I didn't put Doohan in the top 5 either.
I'm not backing him in quali. Let's just say that. Pourchaire, as you said, great pace, really good driver, good around street circuits. I think he's going to get the 2 points for pole position here.
Yeah, fair enough. That would take him 3 points clear of Liam Lawson in the championship. Is that going to knock Lawson's confidence and give Pourchaire an easy dub?
Maybe.
Right. Interesting quali. Any other shocks you want to throw in there?
Iwasa top 10.
Is that a shock though?
Yeah.
He shows he's clearly got pace.
What do you mean by shocks?
I don't know, just anything random to happen.
Not really.
You know what? I'm going to go for Roy Nissany to have a solid qualifying.
Okay.
No, genuinely,
let's move on.
I think he could be a solid 7th or 8th because experience pays out. Nissany's done the track before. There's a lot of F3 drivers who didn't do it last year, so they don't know what they're doing. Roy Nissany, I'm thinking a solid 8th position for everyone's favourite Israeli driver.
Okay. Right. Moving into the sprint.
Yeah, sure.
Reverse grid. So, for me, Pourchaire, we're starting P10.
I mean, you've got Lawson in quite a high position. But will he convert that?
Does mean, right, P5.
Yeah.
In the sprint, I've gone for Ralph Boschung.
Ooh. So have you got him? Where do you think he's going to qualify roughly?
Well, I would say top 10, maybe like a 7th.
Yeah.
I don't know. Around there.
He qualified P11, but it's overtook all the fast drivers and managed to get right up there.
No, but Boschung P5. P5.
Building on a very strong first race, because Boschung's currently P4 in the championship. I remember looking at it last week after the event and going, how the hell is Ralph Boschung there? But he just seemed to have a solid drive throughout the weekend. My P5's last week's sprint race winner. Does enjoy a sprint race. Got Richard Verschoor. I don't think he's going to get top 10. But I think there's going to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
I think he'll make his way through. Which is the same for my next 2 positions as well.
Okay. P4, I've got the man you've mentioned, Richard Verschoor. Not really much to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, P4 for him. You?
I have Ollie Caldwell. Bill, last week was very difficult for him. 7 penalty points. Can't really be excused at this level of motorsport.
If there's chaos, he's going to be, for me, he's going to be front and centre of it.
I think he's going to, because I think he's going to be very careful.
Maybe.
Because he's going to be under instruction from his managers and stuff to not do anything stupid.
Yeah. Because
they're going to be like, mate, how on earth have you got 7 penalty points? If you pick up another 5 in this race, then you're going to get dropped, or something along those lines. I think it's just going to take it really careful, casual, and bring home a really nice result for. He's racing for.
Don't know.
Solid. I can't remember who he's with. But yeah, P4 for Caldwell.
Okay. P3, I've got Felipe Drugovich in the MP.
And you scoffed at me putting in P3 in quali.
Exactly, because I think he's going to qualify like P8, which then will then put him on P2. Maybe.
Fair enough.
Something like that. Let's go P3. Yeah, something like that. Who have you got P3?
P3, I have Iwasa. Thinking decent quali, puts him about 12th, 13th-ish. He's going to come through. We know he's a very strong overtaker. We saw that in Bahrain. How he just cut through the pack from last. I'm thinking very, very similar scenes here. Makes his way up to the podium. Absolutely loving it.
Okay.
Absolute vibes.
Sure. P2, I have gone for the Aussie Jack Doohan. As I said, got pole in Saudi. I think he's going to qualify P5. and then he'll manage to convert that into a P2 in the sprint.
I also have my man in P5 getting a P2, but I have Marcus Armstrong picking up a solid podium for High Tech.
Yeah.
I think the others, he's going to... So, qualifying P5, he'll then be P6 for the sprint, right? If I've done my maths correct.
No, P5.
No.
No, sorry.
It's P6. So he'll be P6 for the sprint. I'm thinking there's going to be a bit of chaos behind him, a little bit of carnage, maybe a few drivers in front of him. I think Marcus Armstrong's got a good head on those shoulders. He's just going to see through the chaos, pick up some good points.
Sure. And then my sprint winner is the Kiwi and probably one of the favourites to win the championship, Liam Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
Back boy.
Poor quali makes up for it in the sprint race.
He's going to struggle, but his race pace is going to be fantastic. I think he might get about P9, P10, and then he'll just race away and dominate the sprint.
Yeah. Well, in P1, I've got Jack Doohan. You put in P2,
Yeah.
I'm putting in P1. I'm thinking a decent, I'm thinking 9th for quali.
Yeah.
He's going to be second on reverse grids.
Convert it into a win.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Predicting good things for Doohan.
Yeah.
Solid little driver.
Okay, well.
But there, that rounds out our sprint race.
Should we get into the...
Should we do the feature
Max
before
points.
you fall asleep? Because I've noticed you yawning a few times throughout this video.
I'm alright.
But yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to go first
Big
or
points.
should I?
You can go first.
All right, feature race P5. I have a man and a Carlin, but which one is it?
Sargent.
It is Logan Sargent coming P5. Solid position for him. Bring him some decent points for Carlin, though of course, feeder series racing really isn't about the teams. They're very much an afterthought, and mainly Prem will win every constructors, and everyone else just supports their drivers.
Yeah.
Who have you got P5?
P5. I've also got Logan Sargent.
I think that's the only thing we've agreed on so far.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing we've agreed on, full stop.
Yeah, and then I guess just everything you said. Right, Sargent. P4. I'll go next. I have his Carlin teammate Liam Lawson. I think, as I said, struggling quali, P9, P10, converts it into a win in the sprint race, and then gets back up in the feature with some supreme pace and good overtaking, and finds himself back in P4 to bring home a Carlin 4-5.
At P4, I have the man who was very much, I think, the fastest driver in Bahrain, Yuri Vips.
Yeah.
In P4, I think he showed the strongest race pace and looked the most aggressive throughout the event. So yeah, I've put him in P4. That's where I put him in quali. Was fourth, just hold position.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be drivers moving past and there's going to be drivers dropping back, but he's just going to have a very, very solid race and maintain his start position.
P3.
Onto the podium.
Yeah. My first podium spot is going to Jehan Daruvula. P2 on the grid. Drops back 1 to P3, but still a solid race.
Yeah, solid result for the Prema driver.
A good result after a poor Bahrain.
Yeah, fair enough. And I've gone for another Iwasa cut through to get his second P3 of the weekend. I have him there. I think, as I said earlier, he demonstrated a brilliant ability to overtake in the opener. And with the carnage, I think he's just going to, be able to cut through and make the most of it. Because, I don't know, I feel like I kind of like him. I think he's a good little driver. I enjoyed watching him race last week. And I think no matter where he qualies, I think he's still going to have stand in good stead for the race.
Okay. P2, I've got the man who you put P3. Fastest man at Bahrain, very good driver. Expecting another strong race from Yuri Vips.
Yeah, I had him in P4. Solid.
I think he, start P3 on the grid. He'll get Daruvula, try and battle whoever I've got in first to win. And sadly, only get P2 for him. But I'm sure he'll still be happy with it.
Something in a somewhat different story. I'm thinking my P2, Jack Doohan, is going to be in quite a big battle with the guy in P3, Iwasa. We know Iwasa's good at overtaking. I think it's going to take a big defensive charge from Jack Doohan. But I think my guy in P1 is just going to pull a big gap.
Yeah?
think he's going to have a very strong race pace.
Who is that guy in P1?
Wouldn't you like to know? No, in P1, my winner is Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
And I have a big bold prediction.
Liam.
I'm thinking a double DNF for Teo Pourchaire. Fans in tears, heartbreak. Liam Lawson takes big points, takes a big championship advantage. Vips goes above Pourchaire as well. But I do think Pourchaire and Lawson are very much the top protagonists. But I think an early blow to Pourchaire's season.
I think it's the other way.
It'll be interesting. You think it's going to be another good weekend for
Lawson
Pourchaire?
Will get P4,
tough for Lawson.
And Teo Pourchaire will take the maximum points in the feature race once again.
Fair enough.
And extend his gap to Liam Lawson. Although he might not, because Liam's going to win this. As I said, Liam will win the sprint and Pourchaire will be out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So I think they'll still be neck and neck.
And I know I said in the first video,
Saudi.
Our review, or 2 days ago now it's posted, that Pourchaire would win the championship. But I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think it could go Liam. I think it could go Teo. I think Lawson's experience helps him out massively. I think Pourchaire is relatively inexperienced. He is error prone, little bit crash prone. Got into a lot of incidents last season. If he can knock that out of his game, then I don't know. I think he could have a better season this year and make a serious title charge. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully this year again we see another great race at Saudi without the serious incidents and the bad crashes. But I still think it's going to be very chaotic, and but again, hope we see more of the same.
Yeah, I think that is where we're going to wrap it up. Yep. Tomorrow we have our F1 predictions coming out just before practice times, that kind of time to get you in the mood for some practice. You can watch us just before. And then, we'll of course review all the action on Monday and Tuesday next week. So look out for all of that. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. Comment down below your predictions, your thoughts, all of that good stuff going into the Saudi Grand Prix. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.